What is good, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome to the special edition AFC West Champions Kingdom Cast. 6 straight AFC West record, 6 straight division championship. Pretty unbelievable, a remarkable accomplishment. If you're your first time joining us, or if you haven't clicked that like or subscribe button yet, just go ahead and do that now. Really help the channel out. We'd appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family. Send us some comments, some questions. This is kind of a last minute. We threw this together again here this week to celebrate the playoff berth, the AFC West division title, and Chiefs are still in control of that. Also, of that, ever so important #1 seed in the AFC. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms at The Kingdom Cast. Gentlemen, how we feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling great. That was a championship caliber team that we watched today go out on the field, despite having lots of distractions throughout the week, not having one of the best tight ends to ever play the game on the field, having some people out with COVID, especially special teams decimated, and just go out there and manhandle an opponent for 60 minutes of football. It was impressive, and it's even better that it was the Steelers because any longtime Chiefs fan probably is not a big fan of the Steelers. So.
Oh man, yeah, those yellow towels are something that just it gets me right back here, like a pain in my neck. You know what I mean? Just retarded. But God, what a great game that was. That like Nick said, that was a high caliber. AFC Championship team. Man, that's the Chiefs we've been waiting for. I mean, they're finally starting to piece it all together. Perfect timing right here at the end of the season when we need it to be. This close to like what Scott was saying, that coveted bye week, that much needed bye week. Man, I think the stats on that, if you get that bye week, your chances of winning the Super Bowl go up by like 60 or 70%. So yeah, right. Fingers crossed that's going to happen. But yeah, great game. Man, that was solid. I loved what our defense did, loved what our offense did. Shout out to Derek Gore. That guy tore it up.
Yep.
Fun game to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. I tweeted out on the Kingdom Cast Twitter account there that kicking the Steelers' ass is almost as fun as kicking the Raiders' ass. Almost, man.
Almost.
Dude, I hate their fans. I hate their towel. I hate their stupid fucking helmet with the logo on one side of it. There's so much. Their coach trying to trip people on the sidelines, the arrogance, man, they're right up there. They're right down there with the Broncos and the Raiders as far as I'm concerned, with teams I dislike and just love thoroughly thrashing. I think I saw someone put out there that Patrick Mahomes' career now against the Steelers is 2-0, and he's got like 9 or 10 touchdown passes, no interceptions, passer rating of like 130 something. Just when you couldn't think you could love Patrick Mahomes anymore, he thrashes the Pittsburgh Steelers. I can't stand that team. Like you said, with the towels, they showed it today too. Calling timeouts with 2 minutes left and then putting your backup quarterback when you kicked a field goal down 30-0. Not sure what they were thinking there, but sent them packing. And hey, man, this is like in the last couple, 2, 3, 4 weeks here, kick the Raiders' ass and kick the Steelers' ass. Just so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, it looks like we broke the Chargers last week, so we
yeah, how about that?
Yeah, they lost in big time fashion today too. That's awesome.
Right. Somewhere Terry Bradshaw and Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson are curled up in the fetal position sucking their thumb because their guy Justin Herbert, who's better than Patrick Mahomes, threw a pick six to seal a loss to the Houston Texans, who I believe are currently in the driver's seat for the first overall pick next year. Every year you hear, this is the year the Chargers dethrone the Chiefs. This is the year that, they get it done. And just every year, same story. Clinch the division with 2 or 3 weeks left to go. 6 straight championships. I know it gets hokey with the division championship T-shirts, and back before
No way.
Patrick Mahomes, I would buy those because it was the only thing we had, right? We didn't have anything else. But what do you think that what do you think that means overall, Bo?
Oh man, it solidifies our place in history, man, as being one of the greatest of all time. We're setting up the dynasty. You know what I mean? Like this team is going to be like the Patriots run. I mean, I foresee this for another 4 or 5 years, hopefully. You know what I mean? Like we are on a tear. We got great talent. We're bringing in great talent. I think that's what this six championships means, man. Like it means top tier. You know what I mean? We're gonna get the best of the best now for a while. I know it's not necessarily draft picks, but who cares? I mean, we got everybody wanting to come here, people willing to reduce salaries to come here. So, yeah. What about you? What do you think it is? What it does for us, Nick?
Well, I mean, I was looking at it after we clinched the division today, and this puts the Chiefs tied with 3 other teams for the third longest streak of division titles in the history of the NFL. So there are only 2 streaks ever that were longer. One by 7, and then the Patriots famously won 11 division titles in a row. They didn't have a lot of competition, so their division throughout those years. And I don't know. I just think that it shows that, look, there's a lot of people that are good. There's some people that can make some great plays. There's some people that are very talented in the NFL, but there's only so many people that, no matter what, when the chips are down, when the odds are against you, that when it really matters, like have the heart and the ability to come through. And the Chiefs did that this year. Everybody was saying that they were dead. Hey, girls. Sorry, I've got kids down here coloring in the background.
They're excited too.
Yeah, they're excited too. Everybody was saying that the Chiefs were dead, right? And now they're the first team to clinch a playoff spot in the AFC, and they're in the driver's seat for home field and the first round bye. And I think that's what it means to me, like just that we've got the guy that never gives up, never loses his resolve, can take all the heat in the world, right? I mean, you would think that Patrick Mahomes had thrown 50 interceptions and 2 touchdowns this year, the way they're talking about him. And you saw the stat during the game, like the Chiefs are the team with the most opening drive touchdowns this year in the NFL.
With like a plus 58 advantage over their team in points.
And so, I mean, weathering all of that, flack, all the stuff with his brother, people being injured, people having COVID, and then to come back and then just still like make it look like Patrick Mahomes is just inevitable in the AFC right now. It's huge, man. It's the greatest time ever to be a Chiefs fan. That's for sure.
How you feeling about these 6 championships in a row, Scott?
Just so much fun. I remember the days where you were just hoping for 10 wins and they'd win a division championship, and I was rushing out to buy the T-shirt. And you watched I want to say that the Broncos and the Raiders had shared the record with 5 straight. To just put them in the rearview mirror, and it's kind of like an exclamation point to the overall dominance of this division since Andy Reid got here. When you look at the wins and losses against the division opponents, it's unreal. Just how bad they've kicked their ass the last 5 or 6 years. And to be able to do that in the NFL, the Broncos and the Raiders, and not so much the Chargers necessarily, but I guess you throw them in there too. I mean, those are proud organizations that have won Super Bowls and won conference championships in the past. And so to get that record 6 straight championship, to me, is just the cherry on top of the division dominance the last 5 or 6 years. And it really just goes to show Patrick Mahomes how much I know that they won, one of those Eric Dean with Alex Smith or whatever it was, but they I saw a stat during the game today that Statrick Mahomes, the dude, he just you see these ridiculous. They said before today's game he was 21-0 in November and December in his career. Now he's 22. Dude, 22-0. That's almost unfathomable.
It's every
win that
December
many
he's played,
games.
he's won. He hasn't lost in December since he's played. Or no, he's lost one game in December, right? That was his first year.
No, I don't think so. Because he didn't play that game, the final game of the season against the Chargers.
That's
As a
right.
starter, he's 22-0 in November and December now with the Chiefs, and that's just
It's ridiculous.
it is ridiculous. When you say it out loud, you almost think that can't even be right, but
It's cartoonish, right?
it is. It is. The dude. I mean, if you wanted to do that in Madden, you'd probably have to like reset the game a couple times in the fourth quarter and start over. So, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the Chiefs, the dominance over the division. That is just, to me, is the exclamation mark, the cherry on top of just how badly the Chiefs have owned these other teams and owned this division.
Right, man. And God, it's just been great. Like you said, it's just been great to put him in the rear view mirror, really enjoy it, being on the other side of that now. Like I remember seeing all the other championship t-shirts, being like, oh man, I want one of those. Finally being able to go out and buy them is great.
We got a comment from Doug here. It says, I feel bad for CEH, but Gore lit it up again. Not sure why coaching staff keeps him on the bench, but he looks good when he's in.
Right.
What do you guys think about that?
I am on the Gore train for sure. I have been since we watched him live against the Giants, man. Like I haven't seen him do any wrong. He's just lit it up every time he's in there. He's a beast. He had that 50-yard tear last week. I mean, I'm with Doug. I don't know why they keep him on the bench. I don't know what you have to see in order to get playing time, but I guess they're seeing something else during practice. But I mean, if you're just looking at games only, I think he should be our number one, honestly.
Yeah, I hate to bag on CEH too much because the dude went out with a bad injury today. Looks like they said a collarbone injury. You got to imagine that's a broken collarbone, though.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a just painful injury to sustain. And there's nothing personal against the guy. He just we've been talking about it all year on the show. I just don't see the burst or the speed from that guy. He in 3 years, Patrick Mahomes' career long run is longer than his. And Derek Gore, do I think he's Jamal Charles? Do I think he's a top shelf, top 5, top 10 running back in the NFL? Probably not, but the guy's shown some flashes when he's got his opportunities. So I think we're going to find out, because if Clyde does indeed have a broken collarbone, I don't see him coming back this year or in the postseason.
Yeah, I don't either.
So, which sucks for that guy, man.
Yeah,
like,
it does. Yeah.
I can be critical of a player, and we can evaluate guys and tell you what we see when we watch and what we think. But at the same time, the guy's still part of the team, and you hate to see anybody miss out. I don't, if you've ever played sports, it's so hard to get injured and watch your team go on and play without you. And so I don't want to sit here and have a bash Clyde fest because the dude did get injured today. But
I almost hit you. I was watching the game from my phone, unfortunately, so I wasn't doing a lot of texting. But I saw when he scored his touchdown, he broke a tackle, and I almost texted him. It's like, oh my god, he broke one and he scored.
Right.
Yeah, that was a nice run. That was a nice run.
Play. Yeah,
he had 2 guys on him.
Yeah, when you watch the replay, the Steeler almost kind of like blocked his own teammate from behind and knocked him over and helped him, kind of bounce off of him. But he made the play. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't a good play. It was a good play. And again, I'm not saying the guy hasn't made some good plays here and there, but I just don't see it with him. I don't see him as like I said, a top 5 or top 10 running back in the NFL. So next man up. We saw today, the other thing too is everybody talks about Patrick Mahomes. Oh, well, if Justin Herbert or any of these other guys, if they had Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, what would they look like? Well, Tyreek Hill, from what I can tell, was in for the first drive of the game and then sat
2
out.
catches. Yeah.
Well, let's hope he's feeling okay and he's not sick. He was cleared from the COVID protocols, but sometimes guys have
lingering issues.
Yeah, health issues that linger on. And
he looks good. I don't know.
Travis being out today, basically not having Tyreek Hill for the large portion of the contest against the Steelers this afternoon. Patrick still lit it up and found guys and made plays. And I was harsh on Byron Pringle after that drop there early in the game. But
Oh man, he
came
had
back
himself a game.
he had himself a pretty good game and came back and made some plays there. So, yeah, just to come out, and I don't think the Steelers are a good team. So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But you're missing your two best playmakers on offense. You're missing Nick Bolton, who that stat was going around this week. He's the only player in the NFL this year with, 100 tackles and 10 tackles for loss. I want to say something like that.
And
Didn't
he's a
have that
rookie.
guy out there. Didn't have your all-pro kicker and Harrison Butker out there. And you just dominated a team that had a 500 record or slightly above 500 record and is in the contention for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Impressive, man. Impressive.
Dude, how good did our receiving core look tonight? Everybody from Pringle to Hardman, Robinson made a couple grabs. Dude, our backup tight ends, Gray and Bell, crushed it when we needed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the only one I was kind of disappointed was Josh Gordon. You know what I mean? You only hit him in the hands 4 or 5 times. He couldn't catch any of those balls. But I mean, dude, Pringle had 6 or 7 catches for like 80 yards or something like that. Oh
Yeah,
man,
2 touchdowns,
2 tugs, yeah, and Hardman with one too. Like, what a great day for those guys, man.
They stepped up, and we've been talking about that. And that's that next man up mentality. You hear a lot of times people talk about it, but the team needed them today, and they showed up. So, kudos to those guys. Again, Josh Gordon. I want to say Josh Gordon has like 6 targets this year and has like 4 or 5 drops. I don't.
Yeah, that's probably right on, dude.
Yeah, it's unreal. And 2 of them for picks, I think.
Yeah. So that we were real hopeful. And sometimes you get excited when you see a guy who, I mean, he was an all-pro receiver, but that was in 2014 or 2015. That's been 4 or 5 or 6 seasons ago now. So, the guy looks in phenomenal shape. Maybe he needs to spend a little bit less time in the weight room and a little bit more time out with the jugs machine catching balls. I don't know.
Right.
I just at some point you just gotta see Patrick losing faith in the guy. And so but outside of him,
just not throwing to him.
Right. Outside of him, the receivers had a good game and Patrick was making plays and eluding tackle and sacks and getting out of the pocket, and there were some plays there. The offensive line looked good today. There was a few plays. That first touchdown, I want to say to Pringle, he had about 2 weeks in the pocket to stand there and threw like a kind of run into his left sidearm laser in between 2 defenders to Pringle in the end zone.
Dude, that 4K camera.
You see it so often with him, it looks routine, but that is not that is a highlight play.
That 4K camera on that play rushed onto the field, man, and it kind of rushed behind the O-line. You got like a real feel for how big some of those guys are, and it's just like, oh my God, dude, those guys are huge.
Is that the camera that looks like are you talking about the one that looks like you're watching Madden?
Yeah, almost your iPhone selfie cam where like the background's all fuzzy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, one of the guys was like had to be like 6, 8, or 9, dude. He was huge. He made the camera look tiny. Like it was unreal.
Yeah. Yep.
Those guys tore it up today. Like you said, gave him 2 weeks to throw that ball. The O-line smashed it today.
They said they did say that Honey Badger looked like he had a quad injury.
Yeah.
How much of that do you think it really is an injury? Or they're just like, it was 30-3 or something at that point? Like they're just like, what? I don't want to risk it.
I heard him saying it after the game on the radio when we were driving home from where we watched the game. So,
he was listed as questionable to return to the game with a quad injury, but he did come back and play after that. So that's got to be a good sign. You saw Chad Henny come in with 12 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter.
Oh man, I feel for the guy though.
And then promptly fumbled 2 snaps in a row at the goal line. The Chiefs won that game handily, but again, as someone who has a great amount of distaste for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I was hoping we were going to see one of those 48-9 or whatever scores it was we put up against the Raiders, an all-time embarrassing, maybe like get in there in top 2 or 3, or maybe the biggest, the biggest margin of defeat in Steeler history. I was hoping that was going to happen, but that's getting a little greedy on my part. They end up winning by 4 touchdowns, though, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so because, like you mentioned it earlier, but I'll be honest. I thought it was fairly classless of them to start using timeouts there at the end of the game when they had no chance of winning, and we obviously were not trying. We had our backups in. We were running the ball. We weren't, throwing it deep on them. So, I mean, I would have been okay if we had put up 50 points because we could have, Bo, I know you've been wanting one all year, but like we could have got that 50 burger today if they wanted to. They were having their way with them the whole game.
Yeah, they looked like they were on pace to get it. I thought they were. I was going to tweet out, if anybody comments burger on this comment, I'll buy them a burger when they do get 50. I'll Venmo you $5 to go buy yourself a burger. Actually, if anybody's watching this, comment burger right now, and I'll buy you a burger if they get 50 burger this season.
How do I comment while I'm also on the show?
I can do it from our account here.
I'll buy you two a burger if they do
it. Yeah, maybe if we, we obviously got a home playoff game now guaranteed. Maybe, if you can make it out here for a playoff game, I'll buy you a burger, a High Boy burger there on 40 Highway. Best burger in Kansas City, in my opinion. So just shift gears real quick then and just talk about the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. The Patriots lost today to the Buffalo Bills. To me, I know a lot of people I saw in Chiefs Kingdom and on Twitter and social media were rooting for the Patriots to lose because we had a 1-game lead over them for the 1 seed. To me, I almost would have rather seen the Bills lose that game and possibly lose another game and be on the outside looking in. I think they're a more dangerous team than the Patriots.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't, but again, the cushion in the 1 seed is probably more important than opponent choice at this point. So that's probably beneficial. Well, it is beneficial. I just, like I said, I had a little bit maybe different take on that than everybody else. Tennessee was able to come back and pull off the victory against the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. So they're still right there nipping at the Chiefs' heels, 1 game back with the tiebreaker, unfortunately, with 2 left to go here. Chiefs, they're in control for the 1 seed. They play at Cincinnati and then at Denver, the final 2 games of the season. What do you guys – if you had to put a percentage chance of the Chiefs holding on and getting this 1 seed right now, what would you put it at, Nick?
I would say probably 65%. I think that they have much better odds of getting it than not getting it. Cincy might be a tough game for us, but the way that this team looked today, they looked like they were on fire. The defense especially. I think that the Chiefs are making some of their own luck. They now have put the Dolphins in the driver's seat for their postseason dreams. And lo and behold, who the Dolphins have to beat to keep that reality next week is the Tennessee Titans. So we gave them a little bit extra life, maybe paying them back for that 2 seed that they sprung us against the Patriots a couple years ago. I believe that was the Super Bowl season, right?
Yep.
So I think that they probably have I would give them a 2/3 chance, 65, 66%. What do you guys think?
Bo?
Man, before I saw that Cincinnati game today, I would have been like 75, 80. But since he had themselves a game today, man, I think Joe Burrow threw over 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. I'm going to have to lower it substantially after that. I think they're going to be a formidable opponent. Our last true test, because I think we're just going to run over the Broncos. Let's get real about that. But Cincy, man, they look tough. They look really good. They did not look like Cincy of earlier this season. That's for sure. They looked really good. But if our defense is playing the way they're playing, I'm not worried about it at all. I think we break Joe Burrow in 2 if our defense keeps playing that way. And then, next week we're supposed to have a hopefully fresh team, or healthy team. So we'll see about that. I'd probably say 50, 60%.
Yeah. We got a comment from Fred here. Great win. Love your show. Keep it up.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep keeping it up as long as the Chiefs keep winning, man. It's a great time to be a Chiefs fan, isn't it?
These shows, we're a little bit more upbeat when the Chiefs win. We'll keep it up even if they're losing, but man, we have some frowns when they're losing.
Yeah, it was looking a little sketchy early in the season, but defense is rounded into form. Unbelievable transformation, turnaround, whatever you want to call it, by them to come back and they gave up that garbage time touchdown to give up 10 points, but it really, for all intents and purposes, they gave up single-digit score again this week. I want to say it's 4 of the last 5 games or something like that where they gave up less than 10 points on defense. The offense is clicking, was able to get into the end zone and light up the scoreboard and get Patrick Mahomes out of the game for, I'm going to say, basically the entire fourth quarter without Travis Kelce and without Tyreek Hill. So
yeah,
the Bengals they're a good team, but they've also had some games this year where they had to come from behind to beat the Jags. I want to say, lost to the Jets. They've had some head scratchers. I don't know. The Ravens are scuffling. The Ravens, let's be real, they should have lost to the Chiefs. They've pulled, the rabbit out of the hat and won some close games against some teams. That could be a team that could easily be sitting there with 4 or 5 wins right now. The Chiefs' defense is much, much better than the Ravens' defense. That pass rush against that offensive line, that's the other thing, too. The Bengals' offensive line is not great. I think they can harass Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to have all day to stand back there. He's not going to throw for 500 yards against this defense. I can tell you that right now. So the Chiefs will be favored in that game, you would think, even though it's on the road. I don't know. I'd probably picture the Chiefs being a 4 or 5 point favorite, you think, without, having seen it, without it probably being out. Well, it's probably out yet. I just have not seen it, but.
Yeah, probably a field goal just because it's on the road and the results of this past week's going to change that for Cincy a little bit.
Right. I'm gonna put the Chiefs' chances right now at 70%. I still think they get it done against Cincinnati, and then if they need to win that last game against, I'm gonna assume is the Drew Lock-led Broncos.
Yeah, looking like it.
No way they lose that game with the 1 seed on the line. That's not going to happen. So they should have their guys back. It looks like they had their COVID outbreak, got that out of the way at the right time here, early, as opposed to in a few weeks when the playoffs are starting here. So
correct me if I'm wrong. If we win next week and Tennessee loses, we secure the 1 seed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
That would be correct, because we would be 1 up. We'd be 2 up with only 1 game to go. So
right.
We wouldn't even need to play our starters against the Broncos. Although I'd like to see us do that to keep the win streak against them alive.
Yeah, I talked a lot of smack to all my Bronco friends, Bronco fan friends.
No, you can't risk injury to
definitely not.
in a meaningless game like that. I mean, I understand the sentiment, but and there's always that. People want to say, oh, well, you get rusty, you just take a week off. A rusty Patrick Mahomes is better than no Patrick Mahomes. A rusty Travis Kelce is better than no Travis Kelce. So, yeah.
I'll take Andy Reid off of a bye than any other team.
Right.
Bengals are going down. You got to fight for your right to party.
There you go.
You do.
It says on my cup that my loving wife bought me for Christmas this year.
Nice.
You definitely do. And the Chiefs have been fighting for their right to party for 8 weeks now. 8 wins in a row, from 3-4 to 11-4, and in the driver's seat for the 1 seed.
That sounds great.
It does sound great.
And playing their best football of the year right now.
Right.
I mean, that was amazing. Also, Travis Kelce is not a young guy. I mean, he got an extra bye week.
Just right. Blessing in disguise, maybe. Get him a week off. Tyreek Hill, basically, you could say he had a week off too, an extra bye week here, because he was in the game for that first series, and I didn't see him on the field at all after that. They didn't even need him. So we'll talk more. We'll have some stats and we'll get more in depth of the breakdown of the game against the Bengals on Tuesday's episode, the normally scheduled episode here, 6:00. Hope you all can join in and send us some questions and comments Tuesday at 6. Yeah, man, just pumped. It's been a roller coaster season. It's been a fun season. Chiefs are peaking at the right time. They've won 8 straight games. They were saying on the post-game show when I was riding in the car on the way home earlier that the Chiefs, in the Super Bowl season, they lost to the Titans and then won 12 or 13 straight games to win the Super Bowl. And this season, if they were to have another 12 or I can't remember if it was 12 or 13 games, they would hoist the Super Bowl trophy again. Just one of those weird coincidences, deja vu, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Some people say there is no such thing as coincidences in life, but just super pumped and we'll get some guys back. Like Nick said, it's almost like an extra bye week here for the guys. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? Or
a little bit of weird trivia here. So, if the Chiefs can pull off the division win next year, the all-time division titles will be tied between all 4 of the teams in the AFC West.
Oh, wow.
My daughter's peeking in there. So, that's amazing. And then also it kind of shows, how lucky we are to be living in this day and age in Chiefs fandom, because we've won 6 straight and we still are 1 behind everybody else. So, the division titles, like you said, Bo, it used to be like a huge deal, right? And now we're like, another division title.
Another one. Another one. Insert DJ Khalid meme right here. Another one.
So that's all. That's all I had. It's really amazing to see, and how lucky we are to have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say was DiCaprio Boodle. I might have to get me a Boodle jersey. That guy was everywhere tonight.
He was wearing the number 2, which
number 2. That's your old number, right?
That was my old number, man. The deuce, rocking the number 2.
He was flying around that field. He looked good, dude.
Dude, I still kick myself for not getting a Colquitt number 2 jersey. I don't know how I didn't make that happen. That's all-time fail on my part.
That was Scotty's number all through.
It was.
Yeah, he looked good. I wanted to give him a shout out, dude. Like, he had like 7 or 8 tackles. He crushed it tonight.
Right. When you got guys like Boodle out on the field, life is good. I saw that number 2 and I was like, does that say Boodle?
Yeah, no, they signed him from the practice squad, I think, this week or last week.
Right. Yeah, they good old practice squad guys. That's got to be a rush, man. Getting in there and getting on the field with the regular guys. You're in practice with them, and
how about that kicker today, right? Like,
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Kicker named Elliott going wide left there a couple of times gave me some flashbacks to
PTSD.
Have some flashbacks to my youth and not so fun times being a Chiefs fan, but that's all right. The guy came in and did pretty well. We had 3 field goals and 3 extra points. So
what a game to come in on for him, though, dude. When like our offense and defense are clicking, you're just smashing the Steelers. You could go miss a couple. Hey, it doesn't matter, man. Like, you get all the gear, you get to suit up, wear all the pads. Oh man, I bet you that guy had a blast tonight.
Right.
Yeah, he outscored an entire NFL team that he was playing.
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
a future Hall of Famer supposedly.
Yeah, Boodle, man, that's right up there with the all-time great names of also ran or whatever you want to call them, Chiefs players. I want to say there was a guy named, what was his name, Sabby Piscatelli there for. I want to say stands out. I don't know if you guys got any more obscure Chiefs players' names.
Not off the top of my head, but man, that's a good one right there.
What was the quarterback's name?
Tyler Thigpen.
Thigpen, yeah, Tyler Thigpen, the old Pigpen.
Thigbone.
Yeah, I mean, you got Chad Henny in there playing the entire fourth quarter, and guys like Boodle lighting up Steelers, looking like fucking Ed Reed out there. Yeah, no, that's
hanging up the mantle for Nick Bolton while he's out.
Right. Yeah, let's you need Nick Bolton back next week. Level of competition is gonna go up against the Cincinnati Bengals, but I still, like I said, I still feel the Chiefs will be favored in that game, and they should win. I don't see Patrick Mahomes. He's in the zone right now.
There are only a couple of teams, period, I see right now that can beat the Chiefs, and they're not in the AFC right now, so that's it's good for us.
Right. Yeah, the Chiefs are in the driver's seat. You're right where you want to be this time of year. 2 games to go. You can complete control of your destiny, and you're not going to need help from anybody else. Looks like Patrick Mahomes is in the zone. That fourth quarter,
God, finally.
I mean, today would look like a continuation of that fourth quarter in overtime against the Chargers. The dude's just lighting it up. He looks like, well, and then you saw the talking heads in the post-game shows saying, I think Chiefs are the most dangerous team in the AFC. They were saying a few weeks ago we were washed, we were cooked, we were toast. What's wrong with Patrick Mahomes? Justin Herbert's the man now, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah,
sense.
Worse than a
should
politician.
really make Skip Bayless put his foot in his mouth. Like, they should really try to make him do that.
No, I mean, they're setting Skip Bayless up really well for his Cowboys to have a first-round exit this year, so I'm looking forward to that.
No doubt. Anything else you guys want to get to here? Or?
No, man, that's good. I need to rewatch all these highlights, take it in. How good do the Chiefs look right now, though, man? It feels great to watch.
They look fantastic. That game was never in any doubt from the first series on.
Right. Dude, as soon as we picked Ben on their first drive, too, just like, oh yeah, we got this one in the bag.
Yeah, just like you said, with this team, like you knew this was how they could play all year.
Yep.
They're rounding into form. They're healthy. They're, it's almost like it's almost like a little, Nick mentioned earlier, a little mini bye week for some of the starters and the big name guys to get a break here, get rested up. You get a game off here and then play a couple, and then you win those and you get another bye week. The AFC could be in trouble, boys. I don't know what you.
Yeah. Well, and just another thing here, if any of our viewers are new, you can go back and you can listen to the previous episodes of the Kingdom Cast and hear Patrick Mahomes isn't broken. There's nothing wrong with him. This is freak stuff that's not going to last. The Chiefs will have a 7+ game win streak this year. You can hear, Derek Gore should be getting more carries. I mean, you can go back and listen to us talk about all that stuff. So I think that, I'm feeling pretty good about some of our predictions, what we're saying, saying it's a long season, that, the cream will eventually rise to the top. There was we were pretty raw about the way the defense was performing, but I feel like, we've been pretty faithful in understanding where this team could go all year. So it's
Right.
good to see them finally do it, right?
Yeah, I was a little concerned. I was a little frustrated at the beginning of the year with the way the defense was playing. I just did not see that coming. And, but just like Dirty Dan, they've come out and come a long ways since then. And they look like the team to beat in the AFC. With a big game against the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend, in Cincinnati. So
could be to clinch the one.
We'll put together some numbers and some stats, and we'll break down this Pittsburgh win and look ahead to the Cincinnati Bengals matchup and give you some more details and some tidbits and maybe give a score prediction here on Tuesday at 6. Again, this is the first time you've joined us. We've got a bunch of new followers and subscribers here the last week or two. Really appreciate it if you would click that like and subscribe button, turn on the notifications. We really invite you and would love for you to send us some questions and comments, join the show, be part of the show here. It's the Kingdom Cast for all of Chiefs Kingdom. We're doing this for everybody else. I don't know. You guys got last thoughts before we get out?
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Yeah. Let's go Chiefs and tune in Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Whoop. I'm right on the banner.